Hey guys, Torcus here. So in this video, we're continuing the Empires of the Ascended expansion card reviews. We're still mowing through all the cards that I missed in the past so we can catch up because we don't have too much cards left to see, but we still need to do all the ones that have come out up to this point. Today is going to be Jarvan and Demacia, so let's check it out. So here we have Jarvan IV, 6 mana, 5/3. When you attack, pay my cost to summon me, challenging the strongest enemy. And level up, allies have survived 4+ strikes from enemy blockers. So you can effectively attack on turn 6 with your, 6 full unit mana and play him like a burst spell, attacking with that effect and dealing with the largest enemy. That is a lot bundled together. He does have the barrier, so the strongest enemy isn't going to deal any damage to him unless they, ping the shield off or silence him or whatnot. But in any other case, he is going to be striking it, and even if it is larger than 5 health, he didn't die because of the barrier, which is really, really sweet. And you can pair this with Scout, so if you attack with a Scout unit, you can pay his cost so that he's attacking alongside the Scout unit. You'll already got the Scout rally effect, which we saw in the reveal video here. And that means that he'll be able to attack twice that turn, which is really, really cool. The level up is only going to happen by you attacking and being blocked, which, isn't really too big of a problem in a mid-range deck like Demacia is generally expected to be. So I don't think that'll be really a problem unless maybe your opponent doesn't run a lot of blockers. But, even then, he's still pretty sweet. You don't need him to level up. It's still a really great effect when you play him, even though he might be a little bit removable after that. But it's also very possible that he can level up before he hits the board. His level up, he's a 6/4, and beyond the initial effect that he already has, you get round start, create a fleeting Cataclysm. This Cataclysm is here, and when I challenge an enemy, give me barrier this round. So, he doesn't have Challenger. This initial effect lets him challenge something. But you can challenge things through the Cataclysm, which is a 3 mana slow speed. An ally starts a free attack challenging an enemy. So every turn he'll be able to challenge something, gain the barrier, no problem. You can do this on your opponent's turn as well. Even if you're not able to attack that turn, you can attack using this. It is a free attack. As well as in this new elite package we'll be looking at, there will be ways to give him Challenger, so there'll be no problem there on that front if you want to do that as well. So, this is going to be really strong. It's great to take out tons of blockers along the way. He serves as a great removal tool as the game goes on, endlessly taking out threats as long as they don't have some sort of removal to deal with that effect. So I think Jarvan, he is an elite. He's really pushing the elite archetype forwards, and we'll see a lot of the support cards also really help the elite archetype go forward. I think even outside of elites, he looks like a really sweet idea in, scout decks and stuff like that. You could potentially have him come in as a replacement for Quinn if you want to do stuff with him instead. Being able to create a Cataclysm every turn means that you could level up your Misfortune much faster. Or potentially you run, some 1 Quinn, 2 Quins, and the Jarvan or whatnot. still be able to do the same idea with the Quinn, to level up the Quinn really fast with the Cataclysms. You can also run the Cataclysms outside of having Jarvan in your deck, but this is a per turn effect that is going to make doing that kind of thing very quick after that point in the game. So, I think he's going to be very strong. As long as he's able to level up, you'll have no problem. There might be matchups where leveling him up is a little difficult, but at the same time, if you're not leveling up, your opponent probably just going to die to your board. So it's like, give or take, like, you're either not getting the level up and you're killing your opponent, or you're getting the level up and it's going to help you kill your opponent. So either way, I think he seems like a very solid inclusion to Demacia, and I'm excited to play him. And his Cataclysm, I definitely think will be run in his decks, and I think it will probably be run in a lot of Demacia decks. It is kind of a slow single combat, but there are upsides to doing a combat, like an actual combat, instead of just striking each other. You do get stuff like barrier. You already have barrier. You get stuff like quick attack, and you get stuff like overwhelm, and all that kind of a thing. Anything that is an attack effect, you get to trigger a scout on your opponent's turn this way, to effectively rally yourself. Lots of different applications for this. It'll definitely see some play in some form of Demacia, if not in most forms of Demacia, because it's a really cool idea. Single combat will probably still be in the decks, but in certain decks where the attack effects and the keywords are relevant enough, this will be in there alongside it. So then we have Jarvan III, the king of Demacia, the late king of Demacia at this point in the lore, and the father of Jarvan IV. 7 mana, 3/6. When I'm summoned, draw Jarvan IV. If he's already in play, instead give allies Challenger and Scout this round. So he tutors Jarvan, which is nice when you don't have your Jarvan. It's not especially relevant in a lot of cases, I don't think. Like, normally you're going to want to try to play the Jarvan on the 6. If you don't have Jarvan by turn 7, you might be a little upset. But it's still good to be able to do that, and especially the effect that you do get when you do have him on board, being able to give... It's guaranteed that Jarvan will be on board when you trigger this, because that's how this works. You're giving Jarvan Challenger and Scout, which means he's taking out 2 units for free because his Challenger gives him barrier, assuming he's leveled up. But, like, it's turn 7. I hope he's leveled up. If you've already attacked with him on turn 6, then he certainly should be leveled up. So, yeah, this is a super powerful effect. He himself is also getting it, so the minimum you're going to get when you do that effect is Jarvan's getting it and King Jarvan is getting it. And this has tough, so it is also likely to get through 2 attacks, being able to have tough and 6 health, and the 3 attack is generally going to be enough to take out most of their, mid-sized stuff, while Jarvan's taking out the bigger stuff. So after the first attack, they shouldn't have too much left. If you have any wider of a board, this is effectively a win condition on its own. Like, that is a game ender. So yeah, so that effect is amazing. I think you'll definitely want to run this for that effect. You should be able to consistently have Jarvan on the board on turn 6, especially in these Shurima Renekton decks pairing with Jarvan, which I think you could definitely do, then I think that you could run the Champion Tutor card in that situation, potentially, and then you'll be able to get your Jarvan in hand for sure before you get the King Jarvan, and that means that on turn 6 you'll be able to get this for sure. I don't think you'd run more than one copy of this, probably. We have a lot of other, finisher type followers in Demacia that would help your board to be able to end it out, like Cytherea, and we also have Genevieve, which is able to buff everything and has the Challenger Scout on herself already. But I feel pretty confident that you would run one copy of this in a Jarvan deck, just in case you can get it off. Like, you got 3 copies of Jarvan, you have 1 copy of this. The consistency should be there to some degree. So I like it. It's not terrible. It's not the greatest, but it's not terrible. And, if things end up lining up properly, maybe you would run even more than that. But I don't think the power level exactly supports that, for sure. Then we have Gallant Rider, 4 mana, 4/4, elite. This is also an elite, but yeah, this is an elite. The first time I challenge an enemy, transform me into Vanguard Cavalry. Vanguard Cavalry is the 5 mana, 5/5 tough unit in Demacia, also a elite. So if you challenge, this is a 4 mana, 5/5 tough, which is great. The even better thing about it is you could potentially play this as a blocker and have it block up to 3 damage, and then challenge into somebody and get that 5/5 tough body, thereby healing yourself at the same time with the transformation. It's probably unlikely that your opponent would allow for that to happen, but you never know. And that would be really, really good if it worked. Of course, you still have to give this challenger or give something vulnerable for it to work, which is why it makes a lot of sense to pair it with Shurima. But it also works with this Penitent Squire, which we're going to see how that works out. But another really good inclusion for these elite decks, I think, as long as we can get this challenge stuff going, which I think we definitely can, if we pair with Shurima for sure, I think it'll be a really strong 4-drop for the deck, and I really like it. I think this will push the elite archetype very well. And we have Honored Lord, 2 mana, 3/2 elite. The first time I challenge an enemy, give me Barrier this round. So it is a 2 mana, 3/2 barrier. A good aggressive stat line. If you're challenging something, you're taking out something with 3 HP. That could be a 3-drop, which is really good. And you'll still get to keep them around. Again, you have to trigger the challenger, but that certainly seems possible. If you use Ruthless Predator with this from Shurima, that's Renekton's champion spell, then it's a 5-attack challenger with barrier, effectively, so you can take out a 5-health unit for free, get to keep your unit. Seems really, really powerful. Again, definitely pushing the elite archetype. I think it looks very, very good. Then we have Penitent Squire, 1 mana, 2/2. When I'm summoned, if you behold an elite, create a tattered banner in hand. As far as we've seen, Behold is not especially hard to trigger if you have moderate amount of whatever you're trying to behold in your deck. This is turn 1, so it is pretty narrow in that you have to have it in your opener, the elite cards. So it's not like you get to wait and get more chances at your hit as time goes on, because these behold triggers, when we were beholding 8-cost cards, it would matter less on the bigger stuff, just because by then you probably will have had your 8-cost stuff in hand already. But in this case, you're going to need quite a few elites. So in an elite deck, generally almost every unit you have in the deck is an elite. It's almost hard to run other stuff because there won't really be enough deck slots. You do need all that synergy and so forth. She is not an elite herself, which is a little bit of a downside, but I think the upside of the Tattered Banner is a big deal. And the Tattered Banner is this: a 1-mana burst speed spell. The next time you summon an ally this round, grant it Challenger. So you pay that little bit of extra mana and you can put Challenger on any of your units. That seems like a really big deal in an elite deck, which is got lots of really well-statted stuff. It's got, good mid-range game plan. We've got these cards with the I Challenge upside, in addition to Jarvan, in addition to these guys. So it all seems very synergistic, very powerful. I think this will definitely go into elite decks. I think it will potentially go into other decks, and you will try to run enough elites that you get that trigger. And I think that's entirely possible depending on exactly what you're running. I don't think it will be too difficult. And even if you miss on the Tattered Banner, it's still a 1-mana 2/2. No one's ever complained about a 1-mana 2/2 before. You do feel pretty good about just playing that. That is effectively what Cytherea is. And you'll probably run this and Cytherea in the same deck. Generally speaking, I think you'll have the need for those 6 1-drops anyways. So yeah, I think it looks very good. Another great thing for elites. Elites are looking real good. Then we have Golden Aegis. 4-mana slow speed. Give an ally barrier this round and rally. So this is effectively Relentless Pursuit, but it gives an ally barrier and it costs 1 more. I don't think that paying the extra 1 for the barrier is very much of a cost. That is a pretty nice bundling effect for not too much mana. You could definitely have seen this costing 5 mana and still potentially being considerable. But at 4 mana, definitely a cool idea. You know, the 1 mana does matter. There are going to be a lot of decks that still want to run Relentless Pursuit instead. But I've seen people talking about playing this with Taric, so you could get that extra rally effect off of it. Because you play this on the Taric, you get to attack, then it triggers on the other unit. So you're attacking 3 times that turn, 3 times that turn instead of 2 times. It's interesting. It's possible. You wouldn't do it unless Taric was already worth playing in the deck already, which, may or may not be the case. Probably not, though, just because Taric is not strictly known for his power level being too great, though Demacia does have a decent amount of pretty good buffs. But this definitely has a lot of synergy with Fiora, because we already want to give Fiora barriers, and we like to rally in that deck from time to time. This would be a great way to get an extra kill on the Fiora towards her win condition by killing the 4 units, because you get that barrier and you get to go and challenge something. So in Fiora decks, I think this is absolutely going to replace Relentless Pursuit. 99% sure that's going to be the case. And that's going to be the best home for this, without a doubt. And then we have Battlefield Prowess. 1 mana, slow spell, grant an ally +1/+1. So it's pretty underwhelming. Slow speed, grant, obviously you couldn't do it at any faster speed, because then it would be pretty much Radiant Strike, I believe, is the 1 mana burst speed. Give it for 1 round, +1/+1. And then if you're granting, then it's strictly power creep. So, you know, it's not really doing too much, though, for that slow effect. You could maybe fit it into some sort of deck that can, you know, maybe Fiora or some all-in deck where you really need to bump a lot of stats onto 1 unit. Maybe you play it with Taric because it's a cheap buff in that deck, but probably not. I don't really think so. So yeah, I think this is probably not seeing played anywhere. This seems super, super bad. Just not enough for a whole card. Not enough value. So that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. I always appreciate it. Please leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Comment down below what you think of the new cards, as well as Jarvan IV, our new Demacian champion. And please subscribe if you'd like to see more of my content in the future. And I'll see you guys in the next one.